You don't hear as much from Ron Paul these days since he has retired from politics. But when he does make statements, sometimes what he's saying has some significance. And he has said things in the past that have come true several times. Of course, no one's right all the time, but it's just the little things he looks at with common sense that I think is the factor here, especially in this situation. I think what he says in terms of this bubble being the biggest in history that mankind's ever seen, I think that's on point. He goes on to explain here recently in this interview with CNBC that, they just keep printing the money, raising interest rates, and at some point you have got to have a correction. That's right. In the markets, there has to be some kind of pullback, some sort of retracement, and during that time frame, well, it's not the funnest. And when you have the country that's in debt, the people, and they have the government that's in debt, this is continuing to snowball with no answer, no fix. And he says that he believes the bubble's going to pop here within a year or so. Now, 2019 into 2020, really a lot of eyes on this window in time. We have midterm elections coming up, and then right around the corner from that, there'll be announcements of who's going to be running for the next presidential election. And as we talked about a few weeks ago, we expect to see the protests fire up on a whole new level, Soros-backed. Of course, that was put on display here with the whole Kavanaugh thing here recently. That's going to go tenfold. You just wait. I'm warning everybody out there of what's to come. The chitter-chatter of what we're hearing, of what we know, what we've been through in the streets, from Ferguson to Cleveland to Baltimore, the D.C., all the different events that we've covered, all the different times we've ran into these paid protesters. Well, what's coming around the pike is going to be something of the likes of which most people have never seen. And it's going to be fully orchestrated. It's not going to be like it's everyday people that said, we've had enough, we're going to get out here and do this. No, it's going to be people that are collecting paychecks, and they're actually out there causing chaos, earning money in doing so. And that is treasonous. In my book, I'm just wondering how long American people, how many sheriffs, how many police officers out there are going to sit back and let George Soros continue to do this before they get up off their tail and they make a move. And, the sheriffs, the ones out there with the badge, a lot of people looking up to them as being the ones to step up to the plate to do something. And it all comes back down to who has sold us out. Who's got the heart to ride? Because all too often you hear the same excuse, and most people get it when they hear that, I've got a family to feed. I've got to get my paycheck and this and that. That's where they've got us trapped. So these people are forced to take orders and listen to the higher-ups and do things they do not like to do if they want to get their paycheck, if they want to have their benefits. That's the blackmail atmosphere that we are in. It's sick. As he states, though, this bubble isn't going to last forever. I think we all know that. I believe it will usher in a huge change, and whenever this happens, I'm not so sure there's a recovery for our U.S. dollar or anything after the next big fall. And I believe it's going to be by design. I believe it's going to be timed out with the next huge event for this country. And I think it's going to be a global event. Some people don't realize that the Great Depression was global. It not only affected the United States, it affected many other countries. It was felt around the world. Because those same people that organized the whole thing on Jekyll Island, J.P. Morgan and all of his goons, they were operating worldwide. And once they established these central banks in certain areas, that's when the game's on. Abraham Lincoln seen this. He made the greenback. Well, you seen what they did to him. JFK came up. He warned you all about the ones, these bankers, and what they wanted to do with taking the gold away from the dollar and everything else. You seen what they did to him. It's that same hand that JFK warned you about that's at it again. You best not forget it. Ron Paul is echoing this a little bit, saying, look, it's around the corner. It's not going to last forever. It's not. It's truly not. And I do believe that within my lifetime, if I was to live throughout the next 15, 20 years for sure, you're going to see this happen. With their 2030 agenda, that is a milestone. I see the decade between 2020 and 2030 as being one truly for the history books. a huge time of change, and it's going to be in the hands of the people. Where we go, where we take humanity, is going to come down to the people. If they're going to sit around and continue to get buffaloed, roost, controlled, divided, and conquered, or if they're going to wake up, see what's happening, and arrest the corrupt ones and put them away. Until that day comes, it's the same old song and dance, and everything that they have planned, just like all their other big events, they're going to go down. There's going to be no stopping them. Until people get proactive. So, as I always say, I hope you have a plan for a survival situation, lights out situation, an economic downfall type of situation. It's good to have a plan, period. Just don't forget it. I'm going to leave a link below, and I'll continue to update with more information as I come across it. Make sure to tune into Underground World News Live Friday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, Dabu77. We'll be discussing updates to stories like this and much more. Hope to see you guys there. And you may only catch it live. That's how real and raw they get. Peace.